Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Morning Coffees with James. I'm James, and this is my morning coffee show. How do y'all doing today? For those who are new to the show, this used to be a show on Instagram until Instagram decided to say, hey, you know what? We're tired of long-form videos. This is all about the TikToks and the clicks and the, making jokes real quick. Nah, I'm done. I'm sorry. No more. You don't get to have a long-form opinion. This is not YouTube, and everybody else is, turning into TikTok. They ban TikTok, and now people out there be like, you're just like one of those old people who don't understand it. It's always a don't understand. I always get that a lot. You don't understand. Why don't you understand? Because I do understand. I just disagree with you. It's never about understanding. It's about me not giving a shit about your fucking problems. It's me caring about your fucking future. TikTok is owned by the Chinese communists, by the way. But, the communist Chinese. The CCP. But you don't want to mention that because it's, I'm making money off of that. Branch out. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to try to get to Rumble. I'm going to try to go on to different platforms so they don't take them down. Right now I'm building on YouTube to get an audience. I got an audience on Instagram, which is the Dragon dot 1988. You can check that out. I also have morning coffees with James is another one I have on there. So let's see what else. I do have a an X account. So yeah, where it's all good, baby. It's all good. Which is Halligan. I'll try to get some links in the descriptions below so y'all can see who I am and care if you want to know. But what are we talking about today? Well, today we're going to be talking about work. We're going to be talking about speaking about work too. We're going to be talking about the work cult, the cult of work, and the praise and worship of people who we should have just had a minimum of respect for, and everybody too. And I think people don't realize this. A while back there was a video out there of a short video of a woman in a Starbucks making a milkshake for a guy, making a milkshake for a guy at 6 a.m. in the morning. 6 a.m. in the morning, and which sounds ludicrous, and people came to the defense of, and then basically the video ends with I should finish up. The video ends with like somebody cutting to somebody with a red face, kind of going, and then it says somebody complaining about doing their job, and it's like, obviously you never worked in the food and beverage industry. You never worked in a restaurant. You never worked at a supermarket. You never worked at a barista. You never did any of that kind of work. And it sucks. Especially making a milkshake at 6 a.m. for probably, and everybody came to the defense of the guy getting the milkshake, which I'm honestly like, no, I'm not, because all you were jumping on that right away. You're all gonna go, he probably worked hard. He was probably working the night shift, and it's probably, let's make fun of the person who has a gender studies degree, and let's make fun of them. That's more alienation. Fuck you. It's us. We're the best. Hard-working Americans. He's probably working if he's working a night shift, he's probably not working in a, out in the fields with a shovel and shit. He's probably working in a warehouse, sitting around, moving shit on a forklift because he's forklift certified, which, by the way, they only certify you because of insurance policies. You can get a little training, and then you don't really need that much training to ride a forklift. You can figure it out if you just show somebody how to do something, and you can figure it out. Start them small and then work your way big. It's just it's for insurance purposes. It's not an entitlement thing, which that's what I'm getting really annoyed with, this entitlement. When people talk about workers, they always point to the younger generation, millennials, Gen Z, soon Gen Alpha. They're you're entitled. You're not entitled to this. It's like, sorry, then why am I working hard? Why am I working so hard? Then you have people who are doing the quiet quitting, which honestly, it is not a new phenomenon. There are people who half-ass it because they just aren't getting paid as much, and they think if you just grind so hard you're gonna get paid more. No, you're not gonna get paid more. You're just, your reward is either A, more hard work, B, a pizza party, or an ice cream, or a food. Hey, you've worked hard. Here's some ice cream or some pizza. It's like, I know you're struggling with money and stuff like that, and you're working 2 other jobs, but here's a pizza for you. Fuck you. 5 minutes into this video, I'm already swearing. Or, they don't reward you. They reward you with some kind of bullshit, or a promise, an empty promise, the 401k, this or that, some nonsensical bullshit, and then you get a paycheck that, you look at it, and half of it is being taken by the government. Income tax is a fucking lie. That's theft. I say we need to cut that out. We need to cut out unnecessary taxes. And Trump was doing that, but that's my... I want you to see where I'm from. But, it's kind of an obnoxious thing when we're worshiping people. And this is the thing I get annoyed with. When we worship certain people who work. When you worship blue-collar people, I get it, if you didn't go to school for a certain, educational system and blah, 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 blah. Doctors, yes, you should respect them. But, I say respect all the workers. If you're grinding, getting a job, if you got a job and you're working as hard as you can to earn a living, you deserve some respect. You know what I mean? It's like, even if you're an asshole, you deserve a little respect. Okay, at least he's working. At least he's putting in the effort. You know what I mean? Even people who work, even that woman who was making a milkshake for that guy at 6 a.m. in the morning, which, by the way, you probably don't know, he probably is not an employed person. And also, you're what's the wrong with America, because he probably has diabetes and he's obese and he's probably weighing on the whole medical system too. You know what I mean? It's like, again, I'm sounding like a complete, you just don't care for the worker. Shut up, you fucking commie. You're a commie in American clothing, by the way. And by the way, unions are communistic in nature, and they're a mafia. Which, another thing too, I was watching Steven Crowder. He was talking about the unions, and he was saying, like, those guys just, people talk, they have job security. It's part of the government. It's job security and stuff like that. They're just playing cards and, screwing around. They're not really doing any work. I know people out there are being like, not talking about you, but there are unions out there. You know what I mean? And I've dealt with the unions too. They act like a mafia. They almost tried to kill me and my dad when I was working for my dad's company. I meant the company my dad was working for, who are not union. They almost sabotaged our truck and almost got us killed. So take that. And you talk about that, and it's like, no, you're not allowed to talk about it. Oh, you can't talk about that. And honestly, it's quite a fucking it's quite an annoyance, because, if you talk about this, people will come down on you and think, oh, you're just being a commie. It's like, first of all, again, it's something I get annoyed with when it comes to America and, this cult of work. If you work hard, you grind, the hustle culture, the being busy all the time. It's like, hey, reflect. It's like, and you know what? It's okay not to like your job. It's okay to hate it, even. Because, let's be honest, I think office work showed us that nobody really likes their job. Nobody likes their job. Nobody likes the bullshit. And everybody praises the blue-collar people, and I understand that, but even they act like a mafia. Even they have some shady shit going on, especially when it comes to a certain amount of workers who, I don't want to say it out loud because it would make me sound like a racist, but imported workers from a certain South American country. The excuse is, they work so hard, they're hard-working people, and they're doing the jobs that no American wants to do, and, so and so forth, and, they're supporting their families and stuff like that. Yes, that one is quite true. But it's also the fact that they're cheap labor. They're indentured servants. You don't want to mention that part. Everybody talks about, they're doing the jobs that most Americans won't do, because most Americans are smart and know their worth in this country. They know their fucking worth. You're just ripping them off. The reason why most, younger generations don't want to do the jobs that I don't want to mention Mexicans. You're not allowed to say that. That's racist. But, actually, it's not just Mexicans. It's, people it's mostly foreigners. It's mostly immigrants who come to this country. And mostly some of them are not, let's just say, legal. but most of them are legal. They come here and they get the immigrant mentality, yes. But some are just illegal, and they, are cheaper labor. They're cheaper labor. They don't ask questions. They do the job, and they do it for less, because despite our economy right about now, the American dollar is still pretty good. But, it's also the worship of their work ethic. And this is the problem I see with the older generation. They worship the idea of work ethic. And to be honest with you, it's okay to worship people who are hard workers. But that's not the only thing that makes a qualified human being. What makes a good qualified human being is not just the work ethic, how hard they work, but how they treat how they treat others, how they, go about their life, what their philosophy is. If, they, there's more than just hard work to see a good qualified human being. Are they polite? Do they, are they considerate? Are they, do they think of others? Do they, will they help out other people? And the problem I see here too with the whole, and again, it's not in the sense of, oh, they took our jobs, you can do the South Park thing, a nonsensical thing like that, but if in reality, it's really about cheap labor. It's indentured servitude, and nobody wants to mention that. Nobody wants to say that out loud. When anytime the people on the left, and I'm not going to say Dem because I know most of my viewers are on the left, and no, I have nothing against you guys. You guys are the party of the hard workers. Why do you think you have the donkey as your mascot? Because that represents hard-working people. I don't know why we chose an elephant and a donkey to represent our party. Makes no sense to me. I think we should come up with new animals. Come up with something cooler, like a tiger, or like a big cat, or a wolf, or something dangerous, And then the Libertarian Party chooses a porcupine. Why not a snake? I mean, everybody, a lot of people think the Gadsden flag, the "Don't Tread on Me" is a racist thing, but it's like, in reality, it was like a stand-in for the American, the red, white, and the Stars and Stripes. Until we get the Stars and Stripes, which is a very Christian thing. If you've ever looked at the Last Supper, Jesus was wearing blue and red, representing the blue representing God and the red representing the blood of man. It makes me laugh because we're so defended of, we come to the defense of that. Well, they don't want to do the job. It's like, true, okay. But what was I talking about? I got lost here for a moment. But I think the problem here is that, truth be told, the reason why these guys are and again, we worship these people now. They work hard. They don't take breaks. They just grind. Oh, look how hard they work. Look at it. You should question that. If they're not taking any breaks, if they're just keep going, if they're just, something is off, because a normal human being would have to take a break. They would have to be like, okay, I have to take a break here for a second. I have to eat. Most people who do that are going to get burnt out immediately, unless they're on drugs. And you know what? Nobody wants to admit that they're on drugs. Oh, no, I'm not joking about that. I was watching a video by a guy by the name of 7 of 9. I think his name is, he's a, blue collar guy, a country boy who was working with these two screw it, they were Mexican. And I don't care about their legal status or anything like that. And they were working pretty hard. And he was questioning oh, they're working harder than I am. And, they're not taking any breaks. They're just keep going. And, he was feeling insecure. Most people feel insecure when somebody's doing your job better, and when somebody's outperforming you. You feel a little insecure. It's like in anything. And then he, one day he was riding with one guy, and he had to pull over, and he had to take a poop in the woods. So he was out in the he was, that's how out there he was. He was in the woods, and you could go out there and take a poop. When he was done, he came back and he saw the guy fumbling with something. It was something, of that nature. And he thought it was kind of weird and didn't think of it. Later that day, he was cleaning out the truck, looking around. He saw it in the door, door little pocket, that little, well, he found a crack pipe. And he discovered that these guys were on drugs. They were using work drugs, methamphetamines. it was crack. And people don't want to admit that. Nobody wants to, oh, that's just one incident. No, it's happened before. People talk about, the Asian, workers out there. And yes, and, I was watching Count Dankula talk about this. He was talking about, the Yakuza over in Japan. I forget what video it was, but he was talking about even the Japanese, who we declare as like the hardest working people. They work hard as well. They're on drugs too. They take work drugs as well. Like, people don't want to admit this, or they never want to talk about this. It's like, and again, if you question somebody's work ethic, and it's like Agent Smith. So it's like, you're talking about it, and all of a sudden they just kind of whip out, the whole, they whip, they talk about this, and they're just like, all of a sudden they're just like, why, Mr. Anderson, don't you believe in hard work? These hard-working individuals? Do you believe that all people are taking drugs? Do you believe that we should not, as a nation, be working? Mr. Anderson? Why, Mr. Anderson, not everybody takes drugs. They're just hard-working individuals. That's not true. They're just hard workers. Why aren't you working as hard as they are and not taking any breaks? By the way, would you like a pizza party? It's like that. They don't want to question anything. They don't want to question and even if you do question it, they'll automatically go, oh, they're just doing the job that no American wants to do, because they know their worth. Because every American knows their worth in this country. Even people who you don't think, even like people who are born in this country know their worth, and again, and then you got these people who do work hard, and they're just like, they become entitled as well. Like, the guy who works, who was ordering the milkshake at, 6 a.m. And now you can say the Starbucks barista, oh, well, she chose a poor career and she made poor decisions. It's like, hey, maybe she didn't make poor decisions. Maybe she likes working at a Starbucks because Starbucks lets them be who they are. You know what I mean? Like, I know this girl at my local Wawa who has piercings that make her look like a vampire. Sweetest person. I don't think it's weird, and I do trust her because she's the personality speaking through. She's just expressing herself, and it's like, oh, I don't want somebody serving me that. I demand somebody serve me who just looks normal. And what if that normal person's poisoning you? What if he just doesn't look like? People are so like judgmental at like looking at other people. I mean, like, granted, I was talking about foreigners and stuff. Look, I get it, but to worship, the idea of like, oh, this person's a worker, great worker, and then start judging their like life decisions on other works. Like, we don't respect the people at the Wawa. We don't respect people who work, food and beverage. It's like, we're not allowed to worship those people. And you worship construction workers constantly. You worship these blue collar people, and you worship the trades. Which, honestly, yes, we need trade people, but to be honest with you, the trades are not that good, special as well. Like, we need food and service people. We need the artists. We need the engineers, And, people, again, if the trades were so good, then how come people keep playing the lottery? How come people keep gambling away their money? How come people, who, say their job is so amazing and great, keep, wish they were rich? And again, people want to say, oh, you just want to become famous. It's like, not everybody wants to become famous. That's the truth. People want to become famous because with fame comes fortune. And nobody ever wants to mention that part. It's not the fame we want, it's the fortune. We want the money. We want to be well off. And the truth is, those people who made that money are the hardest of workers because they've fought. They've fought hard. They're not friendly people. Like, Dan Priana is an example of that. Donald Trump. Yes, everybody's going to scream at me. You, Donald Trump. Yes, Donald fucking Trump. The Donald. Jeff Bezos. Mark Zuckerberg. People billionaires who've made money. These are hardworking individuals. They continuously worked hard until they got people to help them out. These are money makers. They know how to make money. You look at these rich people and you think, oh, they just easy. No, it's not easy for them. And it's like, it's still not easy when they still made it up top. They still have to have this ruthless attitude about making money. Making money is not easy, folks. When you try to make, hey, everybody wants to make, everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to be, successful in life. life. They don't want to live in, their parents' house anymore. They want their own car, and you can't afford that anymore. People, and people want to say it's, just work harder. How about just not taxing the shit out of me? How about just not taxing companies out the wazoo? This idea of tax the rich is not a good idea. How about just cutting taxes? Cut fucking taxes. Do we really need that pay income? What about the roads, man? The roads. What do you mean by the roads? Have you seen the roads recently? Look at your roads and tell me if government actually fixed the fucking roads. They have not. They're not good at fixing. The government is just bullshit, folks. It's bullshit. And they're going to rob you, and if you don't comply, they're going to throw you in a little cell. And they won't help you with anything, especially with your taxes. If I get it wrong, they're going to throw you in jail. Oh, but we can't help. No, we can't help you. No. It's like, this is why people don't trust their governments. It's like, tell me this. Every time they tell you that, we're going to shut down the government, how's that affecting your life? How is that affecting your life? Do you go, okay, fine, whatever, good, shut it down for good, shut down the ATF, shut down the, Internal Revenue Service, shut it all down. How do you feel nowadays? I mean, come on. Are you, and again, I'm not promoting any politics right here, right about now, and I'm tired of politics because it is cancer of the soul. But I gotta talk about this, about the, the cult of work here and the whole generational thing. It's like, how many times have you just busted your balls for a fucking pizza? I've been there too, by the way. I've worked at Bed Bath & Beyond. Thank God they shut down. Some good people work there, but some other assholes as well. Assholes. Yes, if you're watching this, if I've worked with you, yes, I may have been an asshole, but you're an asshole too. Yes, my friend. And you know what? They lie. People, and also people, when they talk about quiet quitting, that whole phenomenon about quiet quitting and all that shit and doing half-ass work. Hey, guess what? The boss, the superiors do the same goddamn thing too, with quiet firing, quiet demotion. They also like to jump around circles. You know how to think about it, like a boss who's just like, you're fired, Spider-Man. It's, we understand it, but they do this kind of like liberal, like, excuse me, well, we're giving you a special promotion. You're going to be promoted to my #1 employee. Isn't that great? I would punch that woman. I would just get arrested for what I would do to her. Just, and just be like, have you seen the video? It's like, and you wonder why people don't want to work anymore, because they're tired of the bullshit. They're tired of the pandering. They're tired of the culture around it. The grind and hustle, man. It's like you're not moving forward. You're just slowly incrementing, saving up money to live and thinking you're going to get a dream house. And then, and especially if you're working with some kind of communist too, by the way, and trust me, this is why I don't trust family too as business. See how people react when you have money, when money gets involved with your family. Yeah, it would be fun to work with family business. Watch when money gets involved. Watch when serious things get involved. Look at how they act when business is involved. When serious, decisions are made. You will realize that family sucks at business. And you can say, well, I love money. No, I'm sorry, but when money is involved, love becomes a second thing. Love is fine. Self-love is more important than family love. If your family's fucking you over, you need to make a choice here. You need to say, okay, this is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit. Because family doesn't care. Like, again, when money gets involved, they will take advantage of you. They always will take advantage of you because it's, it's my brother, it's my sister, it's my family member. He'll be okay. And here's the funny fucking part about that. And I'll tell you this about my personal life. I worked mostly for other companies, some paid fair, some paid well. Others were paying me especially because when they fucked up the finances, I was getting paid from $400 for a construction job to $200 for construction, for crawling in somebody's fucking crawl space, lifting a heavy ass heavy ass shit, back breaking labor with a broken back. And even on even with my appendix exploding, still working. Because, oh, well, I can't justify somebody standing, and that's another thing, too, I can't stand anymore. That bullshit of, I can't stand standing around, you gotta be busy, you have to be busy, you gotta be busy. Who gives a shit? And by the way, those people who work, you look at some construction guys who are one guy's shoveling, the others are not working. That's a mandated rule. One guy works, and they switch. Oh, this guy's now working, and then they switch, and then this guy works, and they switch. Your fucking ignorance is, and by the way, that means ignoring information. Excuse my ignorance, meaning you don't know the information. They're not doing it to be lazy, and it's okay to stand around. Most jobs are just hurry up and wait. So, again, it just annoys me because I'm just so tired of the culture of, the cult of work. And most of you, and even people who have good jobs, don't want to go to their jobs. And it's not a good thing that we're working 2 to 3 more jobs. Oh, that means the economy's good. No, that means the economy's bad, you stupid shit. One job should satisfy most needs for one family. The wife, people do the whole 1950s thing. Well, the wife is working at the job, and, the man's working at the job, and the wife cleans and cooks and all that stuff, and family can afford a car. Hey, even on like a down economy and stuff like that, shit was just ask yourself, when did that go from that to this fucking nightmare that we're in right now? Hey, maybe it's because of politicians, maybe it's because of unions, maybe it's because of just corruption, And by the way, I'm not trying to diss anybody's work or belittle somebody. I'm just pointing out a reality here, okay? You talk about Gen Z not wanting to work. It's like, I understand that perfectly. The idea of getting free shit after working 50 years of your life. 50 years of your fucking life. Throwing it away for some asshole who thinks he's going to take care of you. They're never going to take care of you. That's a lie. They always promote. And the fact that you think you're going to get promoted or put in a different position is a fucking lie too. All they're going to give you is an attaboy. An attaboy, yeah. Oh, you got an extra shiny nickel now. It's like, so they can get their own, well, you didn't work as hard. You're going to need to work hard. Fuck that working hard shit. I'm sorry, but people, and I mean it too. I absolutely fucking mean it. People think it's, one job is better than the other, and one job actually has security and stuff like that. Yeah, we need tradespeople, but we also need the food and beverage service people. We need the white-collar people who run the finances and the paperwork and the stuff. People think oh, my job's more important than that guy, or their job's not that important. If you lack some kind of certain skill in life, say if you want to learn how to fight, then learn how to fight. If you want to learn how to build, by the way, using a hammer is not that fucking hard. YouTube has taught, you can learn stick shift, by the way, by watching YouTube. This fucking generation of fucking boomers out there who think, I know how to drive a stick shift. Do you know how to drive a stick shift? Have you bought a stick shift before? You probably haven't once in your life. This fucking lie that people push that, YouTube, you can learn a lot. I've learned a lot when I'm doing this job, HVAC work. When setting up I don't ask my dad. I'm afraid to ask my dad most of the time because he has to go stop everything what he's doing and go, no, instead of going, oh, no, you have to do that. That's it. He has to show me and be like, oh, you don't know, I gotta show you, I gotta lecture you, I gotta teach, I gotta show. It's like, just tell me. That's all I'm asking. You have to stop everything because it's like, oh, well, it's like, no. And this is why I go to YouTube to look how to put in a, disconnect box, which basically is kind of like a shut-off thing, so you can work on the units and be like, oh, not get zapped. So, remember, if you are installing a unit, make sure you put a disconnect on the outside unit. Yeah, that's the truth. Nobody ever wants to talk about that. Nobody ever wants to address that, because it's, you're un-American if you do. Okay, I think I've spoken long enough and mindlessly ranted here. I'll see you guys in the next video, and just remember, hey, not everything is just, simple as X, Y, and Z. Not everything is simple. So, my thing is that work a job, but also find a different hustle that you can be good at. Like, you have a passion for it. Like, and People talk about that passion, but find something that you can think it can make money and do it. I say if it has a potential to make money, then do it. But if you're just trying to work to survive, then work to survive. But just remember that you have worth, okay? Even if you are, even if you are from a different country and you're here illegally or legally, I'm just saying, just either one, find your worth. Know how much you're worth. That's all I'm saying. Just know your worth. And don't belittle anybody else because you think you are special because you have a certification of some sort. It's like, shut up. You don't. I'm sorry. But, you're not a special human being because you have a certification. That's just only for insurance purposes. Sorry. All right. Take care, everybody. Love you. Bye-bye. And remember to stay awesome. Peace be with you.